Okay, so recently I uploaded a short about my theory called the law of somethingness. The law of somethingness says that because there cannot be nothing, either experienced or just physically, there cannot be nothing. By definition, nothing cannot exist. And so I believe that there is this law that forced uh, everything to exist, and consciousness as well. To start, I need to explain that whenever you go unconscious, you don't experience being unconscious. We never experience any periods of time when there is no experience. Before you were born was not experienced for you. And anytime you are put under with anesthesia or any other way you go unconscious is never experienced. Only experience is what's experienced. One form of awareness or another is what's experienced. You can't experience non-experience. And so this is what I'm talking about, the law of somethingness, that uh, no one has really named it as something. So in the realm of consciousness, we can see that it is definitely true that only somethingness, some sort of experience is forced. It is the only thing that happens. Nothing is just not an option, really. Even after death, nothing will not be an option. There will be no nothingness. And so I'm saying that this also is true for the universe itself. Because there cannot be nothing, I believe that the universe is eternal, that some form of the universe has always existed, even if you can't really call it maybe long ago, trillions of years ago, whatever. It wasn't in the form we know it now, but I'm saying that there was still something, because you can't get something from absolute nothing. Someone like Lawrence Krauss describes that he believes you can get something from nothing, but then he goes on to explain that he's actually calling nothing quantum. He's calling quantum fluctuations and all this other stuff he describes as nothing. So that's kind of cheating. He's not really describing what people believe is what you think of when you think of nothing. You don't think of anything. If you think of anything, then you're not thinking of nothing. I see it as because there cannot be nothing, there can only be something. And so this fact forces something to exist in one way or another. And then consciousness comes along because once you, for example, if you create a jar, you are simultaneously creating an empty space inside a useful empty space. So they're created at the same time. You could say that the empty space is forced into existence, or it's just compelled to come into existence as well. But I'm also saying the jar itself is compelled to come into existence because it's the only option. There being something is the only option. I think it logically follows that if nothing isn't a choice, then there is only something. The question of why is there something rather than nothing is just, it's nonsensical, as if nothing were an option. So I don't think the universe exists for the purpose of causing consciousness to exist. I just think that, let's say that a jar is created by nature or something, or a tree maybe has a hole in it and there's a hollow spot inside the tree. It wasn't, let's say there's no God or anything. The tree with the hollow thing inside of it wasn't created for the purpose. There was no intention of creating a little hollow spot for an animal to live inside. It's a byproduct of nature, of evolution. There was no guiding consciousness from the beginning that uh, intended to create this little area for animals to live in. And so I don't think that there was any goal to create consciousness. It's just that it had to come about at some point in time in the universe because nature abhors a vacuum. So it was eventually going to come to exist. It didn't always exist, as far as we know. There was probably a very long period of time where consciousness didn't exist, but if the universe is eternal, then there was most likely consciousness many times. But it isn't something that needs to be constant, that is constantly occurring to fill the void of the metaphysical realm where experience or consciousness takes place. It comes about eventually. It has to come about eventually because that realm needs to be filled. And from the perspective of consciousness, it is always filled. There is no experienced gaps. There is no experience of the periods of time when there is no consciousness or awareness. Again, only experience is what's experienced. Very much like we can't have nothing, we fit in a physical realm. So this is the conclusion I've come to about why there's something rather than nothing. It's just a simple fact that nothing isn't an option in any realm, physical or metaphysical or non-physical. So that's kind of my belief. That's what I've come to conclude. I feel I've come to this conclusion logically, but maybe I'm wrong. So what do you think? Does it resonate with you? Does this make sense at all?